What is going on, guys? It's Teen Engineer here, and today we're going to be continuing the Skywalk Towers series. So in this video, I'm probably going to be playing the Pizza Tower and showing you guys how I did some things. So if you guys don't know what this game is, it's my game called Skywalk Towers, and it's published under my group, Orion Entertainment Studios. And yeah, it's a pretty cool game. And if you guys want to join my group, then you can. And let's try to get to 100 members. And also for the Find Your Glasses game, you can say that you finished, and I'll put you in the role of finding your glasses. If you guys like these videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and do all that. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing you guys some Pizza Tower because I didn't do Pizza Tower yet, and there's Night Tower as well. So I'm gonna be showing you guys some things about them. So okay, Pizza Tower. Okay, so some coins here, nothing much. Um, okay, there's the rotating peppers. I'm just using constraints to do those. So nothing crazy here. Same thing for the tomatoes. I'm just using constraints. I think it's Hinge constraint, but we'll have a look at that. So the ketchup, I can show you guys how it works. You just go on it, and then it makes this part visible, and it only makes it visible for you, so on the client, and it's basically using a remote event. So it's like the server has the touch function, so when it gets touched, and then it just sends it to the client so that he can only see it, and then these make you jump higher. And okay, cool. I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. Let's continue. This thing is using a cylindrical constraint because it's moving up and down and also turning at the same time. That's a cylindrical constraint. So here's your spawn point. There's these, I don't even know what they're called. But yeah, they're turning, and this is using a hinge constraint as well. So it's turning, they're turning in different directions. This one is this one that's turning. And this one is using code because I don't need the player to move with it. So I'm just turning this using code. Same thing for this one. And this one, I'm using like a tween thing to make like a complex animation uh, that turns like that. So with this one, I'm just turning it, like turning the orientation, changing the orientation. But the other ones, I'm using tween service. So yeah. Okay, these ones are just code. You'll just move it and rotate it at the same time. I think I'm using tween service for those. This one is just rotating it. This one is moving and rotating. Oh, okay. Oh boy. I need to remove fall damage. I don't think it's good. But yeah. Let's continue. These things. Oh yeah. These things that make holes are basically just circles that are appearing. They look like holes though because they're like darker. But yeah, they're just appearing. I just make a code to make them appear every few seconds. So here I'm also on this big dough. I just realized it's also a moving big dough. That's just a hinge constraint because we want the player to move with it. And this one is also another hinge constraint with these pipes, and they're dripping sauce with, I think I'm using these images, which is a particle emitter. Yeah, same thing, everything here. It's like that. It's basically just dispersing sauce, another spawn point. And so yeah, I'm gonna be showing you guys how I do those. So let's go into Roblox Studio. Let's see. Wait, did I? Okay, I opened the right one. Okay, cool. Just delete this. I need this. Okay. So first off, I want to show you guys how I do the animations here. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure how I do them. I think it's just. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, these ones, see these ones, I'm pretty sure it's a hinge constraint. Well, okay, attachment, and yeah, it's a hinge constraint, and we can look at the properties. We can see that in the model, it's a model. I modeled it in Blender. I can show you guys how I did it in a future video. So we have the actual bell pepper, we have the stem, and then we have invisible part at the bottom and two invisible parts at the bottom. So they both have attachments, so we can actually turn it. So you can see if we click on the hinge constraint, we can see it's turning on this axis. And let's see. Okay, so we can see the angular velocity, so 0.2. If you want to make that faster, you could put it at like 10, but for me, 0.2 is good. The acceleration, we put it at max, so it doesn't like, there's no mess up. Usually, acceleration and torque, you want to put those at the max, so they don't like behave weird. But I did the same thing for the tomato. You can see, in tomato there's this part. This is actually a particle emitter. There's a part inside. There's the actual tomato, and then there's another part inside. So I'm just using attachments for those. Now, if I go on the ketchup, I have a script that you can see here. And all it does is if it gets hit, it just sends a client remote event to that certain player, and then I'm just catching it inside the starter player. No, it's in the starter UI. I don't even know where I put it. Let's see. Starter player. Yeah, I think is it. Yeah. Okay, so it's in the not the blocks tower, the pizza tower. It is which one? Rolling pin, pizza builder, big rolling pin. I don't even know. But it's basically just like time tower. Oh yeah, I used to have a time tower, but I removed it because I took too much time. Literally. But I don't think I find it. Sliced pepper one. Big rolling pin, brown, no. Hole puncher, later rolling pin, no, no, it's fine. Okay, well, it's basically just sending it a remote event, and then in the client, I'm waiting for it, and then when I get it, I just make them appear. And so I have the model here for the mushrooms, and they just turn. So I think I'm using a script for that. Here, let's see. Connect. Oh, I think that's just for making the sound, I'm pretty sure. Mushroom 1, yeah. So if I go into the local script, Mushroom 1. Oh, it's just moving it, okay. So once it's touched, it starts moving it, I think. So like part of touch, local player, if player, then event. Okay, so Mushroom 1, is it that one? No, it's not. It's not the right one. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay. I don't even know where I put it though. Sorry, character scripts maybe. Nope. Okay, well whatever. But I want to show you guys. Wait, what did I just do? Okay, I want to show you guys when. Okay, this is a script to make the player jump higher. So once it's touched, we check to see if it's the actual player that touched it, and if it is, then we set his jump power to 75, and we make him jump, like literally. So if you set jump to true, then they're gonna jump as if they press space, and then we set the jump power back to normal. I think this is 50. I think that's the normal jump power. I think. What is the normal jump power Roblox? Yeah, see, that's the normal jump power, so I made it 75. You can make it whatever you want, and that's just a simple script to make the player jump when they press a part. Okay, and then we have this, and I told you guys this one was, I was using a cylindrical constraint, so it's rotating and moving up and down at the same time. So I have the actual dough here, I have a target, and I have a target 2, so 2 parts. And so the target 2 is the bottom, so where it goes from, and where it goes to is the target 2, the target 1. So it goes from that part to this part. And I put an attachment in my dough, and I put an attachment to the target, to where it wants to go to. And I put it a cylindrical constraint, and we can look at the properties of it. And we can see it's enabled. It has an acceleration of infinite, max force of infinite. These ones you usually want to keep them really big numbers, but the velocity is -1 because this is for the rotating. So I'm rotating it at a velocity of -1, and that just rotates it anti-clockwise, I think. Like if you put it at 1, it's gonna be clockwise, and if you put it at like 5, it's gonna be faster and clockwise, I think. But yeah, there's also the, let's see. Wait, no, I think this is for, okay. So this one is for this one is for moving it, and this one angular motor is for rotating it. That makes more sense. So there's angular velocity at 0.7, the max angular acceleration, and the max torque. Usually you want to keep those at infinite. So that's basically it. You want to make sure that the attachments are facing each other, actually. You can see this one is like up and to the right, and then you have this one that's also up and to the right, so it's like the same thing. And yeah, now it just moves. And let's look at the scripts. Oh yeah, the scripts, well, you need to move it. So when it touches the target at the top, you need to change the velocity. So if you look at the cylindrical constraint here, yeah, so it starts at 7. Well, it starts at -7 actually. So it goes up because negative is up in this scenario. You just want to test to see if it's negative or positive. But in this scenario, it's -7. So when it goes up, when it's -7, and then when it touches the top target, that top part, it goes back down. So you want to put that at 7. So it's the opposite. And then what about this one? Okay, this one is just setting the network owner to nil. It's basically setting the network owner to server so that it doesn't lag. Like these things you want to play with. Sometimes you want to set the network owner to the player. So it just, I found that sending the network owner to the server was best in this scenario. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this. For this one, we can see for these doughs here, they have a hinge constraint, and they just rotate. And the script here is just setting the network owner to the server so it doesn't lag. And so it's basically the same concept. We have an invisible part inside. We have another invisible part inside, same thing. And then we have the actual dough. And you want to make sure that they're unanchored, because when you move things with constraints or rotate them with constraints, you want to make sure they're unanchored. So yeah. Okay. What about these things that are turning? These are using, I'm pretty sure, scripts. Okay, well, I'm using local scripts for those so they don't lag. Because if you move, well, actually, let's have a look at these little rolling pins, because these ones are moving in a funny fashion. If I look at rolling pin 3 and I go to my local scripts, I have little rolling pin 3, whole bunch here, no, yeah, this one. We can see that I'm actually changing the pivot. So right now, if I look at the pivot, it's actually here. And that's where I want it to be, because like I want it to move it like this. So that I changed the pivot, and if you guys don't know how to change the pivot, you just go into Model, Edit Pivot, and then you can move it. But in this scenario, I don't need to do that. So in my local script, I'm using run service. I'm getting the part, so I can move it. I'm getting the pivot position. I'm setting the pivot position, and I'm telling it that it has a new pivot. So cframe.new pivot is just making a variable here, and I'm making an offset, and I'm getting the new pivot and making it into object space, like not world space. Object space would be, let me see. This is object space, and this is world space, and this is object space. So it depends what you want to do, but in this scenario, I need object space, so this one. And by the way, I'm just switching by clicking Control L. Okay, and then while true do, so it's an infinite loop, we set the new pivot times a certain angle. So this one, it's mat.rad -6 for the y-axis, because it's turning in the y-axis. And we just multiply that by the parts c-frame. So we get the old pivot, and then we multiply it by a certain offset. And then we just wait a certain amount of time. But that's basically it for this one. There should be, okay, this one I think I used a tween service, but let's see, this one is, what's the name? I don't even know. Big rolling pin is this one. Yeah. So I have two scripts. I have the big rolling pin, I have a run service, and in this script I just oh, in this script I'm just moving it. So in this script I'm just moving it from here to there. And this one is, okay, so it's not a tween service. I'm just moving it in a script and I'm rotating it in another script. So that's not what I expected, but that's fine. So the moving script is just making two for loops, one that goes from 0 to 100 and one that goes from 0 to 100 again, but in the other direction. So the first one, it goes in that direction, I believe. And it starts at 0, it goes to 100, and it takes one step every time. And we're just taking the part C frame and adding a vector Z axis of negative 0.3. So it goes 0.3 studs every time, 100 times. So this is 30 studs, I think. That's the distance that's gonna be. That's gonna be like distance. I don't even know. That's a distance that's gonna be gone through, and yeah. And then we just wait, and it's gonna run 100 times, so it's smoother. Well, yeah, it's smoother because it runs 100 times, and it's gonna run at 0.3 studs per loop, I guess. And then we do the same thing, but in the other direction, so it has to go back. And now for the rotating it, we just get run service again. We get the part, and while true do, we just take the part C frame, take it the C frame again, and then multiply by a certain Y angle, and then we just wait. So not bad. Okay. And what else can I show you guys? There is, I guess, these holes here. Okay. This one is basically the same. This one, okay, I probably need another video for this, because this one is like let me see if I think, yeah, see, there's a bunch of pizza holes. They're basically just circles that have a certain color and make it look like pizza holes. And okay, yeah, so I'm gonna end the video here. And if you guys like this game and want to learn how I did it, then keep watching this video. If you like the videos, then like, subscribe, and keep watching for new updates and stuff like that. So bye bye.